Hey there, and thank you so much for joining me here and finding out more information about the We Event program. So let me just take a moment here to get to the right page here, and here we are, perfect. So I wanted to take a moment just to introduce myself and tell you all why I decided to put together We Event. Now, I put together We Event because I am a mother here in the Elk Grove School District. And on, I believe it was sometime in December, later part of December. And actually, let me look up that article. So, later part of December here, the Elk Grove School District encountered a student who posted on social media that she did not. Let's see what was the actual here. Black people are trash and they need to die. This young lady posted that on social media. What ended up happening was my daughter came to me and she said, "Why, mom?" And she was really confused. She wasn't upset. She wasn't angry. She was confused. And she didn't understand how this could be happening in 2017. How in 2017 someone could actually fix their mouths to say something so hurtful to her without even knowing her. She really took it very, very personal, excuse me, as well as my son. My son, same way, same thing. He took it very personal. And I think that we all did. She didn't have to say any names specifically, but it was just the understanding that and we automatically resonated and we automatically self-selected ourselves that she was the person she was speaking to, although she had never spoken to us or heard of us or anything to that effect. After this incident, of course, my first thought is to comfort my child and to tell her everything is going to be okay and try to, provide her with support and information and education and, how this has been going on for a long time, really. Uh, Second, social media. As a digital media producer myself and a director in the space, and as a business owner myself, I couldn't help but shake this feeling of responsibility. And with that responsibility, I knew that I needed to step up to the plate as well. And that is where We Event comes into play. We Event is a PowerPoint presentation that I put together for my son's classroom because he did not have any Black History curriculum available, or his teacher didn't have any Black History curriculum available in the classroom. I came in and I really wanted to take a different view and a different perspective of things. I wanted to present Black people in a way in which they were just like everyone else, and they have stories that were relatable and stories that you could connect with, and that you can say, yeah, you know what, that's just like me, and resonate with. And within those stories, I found so many different um, experiences and contributions that Black people have made to history that I even myself didn't know about. And this PowerPoint presentation, after I gave it in 2014, 2015, somewhere around in there, kind of sat in my computer file disk untouched until recently after this incident. Like I said, I felt a deep responsibility to say something and to do something. And We Event is what I came up with. This is the answer to that call from that young lady stating that she does not know and she needs to be aware of the contributions that Black people have made, and that those contributions weren't done in and of themselves and by themselves. And it actually took a collaborative effort with every person, whether they were Caucasian, African American, Black, or Hispanic, Asian, whatever nationality they were. This all happened together, in unison in that this isn't just Black history, particularly February isn't just Black history, but it's our history, shared history. So after looking at some of the artists here and the inventions, Dr. Charles Drew, for instance, with the blood bank, these are things, Otis Boykins with the pacemaker. And there's also George Washington Carver, where he actually came up with over 300 products made just from a peanut, right? And this is back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, where racism was very, very rampant. And they were able to push through and still put together patents. And this is only the selective few that were able to push through and actually have their stories being told. How many countless others are out there that we don't know their stories? I wanted to provide this opportunity to students. And I know that the curriculum isn't there for the school district. And so I decided to offer my assistance in helping out with that. So with all of that kind of being said here, this is my, like I said before, my answer to that call. This young girl is calling. That young girl is saying, I don't know. I am unaware. I don't know the history. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how the world that I live in today, how that came to be. I don't know the contributions of these people. I'm just doing what I'm told. And usually they are being told that from, media outlets, different places and sources that are kind of pushing this narrative of that we're supposed to hate each other and hate. So I wanted to bring in the element of Black inventors. I didn't want to come in with an element of slavery, again, I didn't want to come in with the element of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, though those stories are absolutely important. I wanted to give a new perspective and a new, fresh look. And so I came up with the event, which looks at the entrepreneurial spirits as well as the inventions of Black people and the inventions that we use every single day. Did you know that every single day you use something that was invented by a Black person? Every day. Now, do your students know that? Is the question. And I'm sure the majority of them don't. So I put together this PowerPoint presentation, and I am hoping that you will share this presentation with your students, as well as critique this presentation, because look at this, like this is spelled incorrectly. Let me go ahead and fix that. I definitely want to, this is just the beta. This is just me putting together all these inventors and the research that I've done over this certain period of time, and then giving it to teachers and staff to hopefully have you all get out there and present this information in a way that it is relatable, that these students see themselves in each one of these inventors. And ultimately, that they see that they have the means to do it too. They have the means to create something and solve a problem and think together and collaboratively in a team effort, and also hopefully build some self-esteem in some students who may have similar stories to some of the individuals that we have here. So the way that this all works is you basically go here, you sign up to receive it. If you haven't gone through the Google Doc, there's a Google Doc that's out there that you can sign up through, but you can also sign up here. You pay $25 for the class, which is basically invoiced to you after you sign up. So you sign up, you download everything, and then we invoice you for $25, which I feel is very, very reasonable, considering the amount of time and effort that I've put into this. I've really poured my heart and soul into this and putting this together. I even had my graphic designer go in and recreate the images because I didn't want any copyright infringements coming after me. So I recreated the images and made them into characters. So the basic premise of this whole thing is, so listen to this, and I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it isn't too corny. I am an inventor from the year 3021, and I have come back into time, come back into the past to give you all some information or give the students information and education around Black inventors. We've had a big war breakout, and unfortunately, a lot of people didn't know about Black inventions, and this hate race war kind of broke out. And I trying to come back to you all to educate yourselves on what you can do to solve some of the problems now so that they don't continue on in the future. Now, of course, we're not going to solve the whole racism problem, but I want them to start to think of how they can solve problems and how their stories and how their lives are very, very, very important. Each one of these individuals were just that, individuals that decided to step up and create things that we still use long after they're gone. So we invent, it's just that. We're talking about why history, right? Why history? Because history helps us understand change and how the society we live in came to be. And now why music? Because music is profoundly emotional and has the unique ability to express interstated feelings and abilities, right? So that's that. These little stops, space stops here are where you play the music and the students do the worksheets. Like we have Alexander Miles here. And if I were to click on this actually, all of these things move, and the videos are very, very short that I have here. They pretty much just say the name of the individual, what year, what they did or what they invented. And then the students go out and they do their own research to find out more about this individual, and they come back and report. So each one of the sections here, if you take a look at each one of the worksheets, has to do with that particular section. In that this particular section, or this particular worksheet, I should say, is a matching worksheet where you go in and you take the images, and I actually revamped this, so this will change. You'll take the images of the individual and try to match it up with their invention. The second worksheet is a research where you would basically pick one of the inventors. After I've gone through the spiel of all of the different bios, pick one of the inventors and find out more about them, and then see how you identify with them. And can you imagine what life was like for them? What was their childhood like? Why was this so important that they create this thing that they created? Why did this invention need to happen? And why did they need to be the person to do it? If we go through a lot of the stories, and what I've seen is a common theme in a lot of the stories of these inventors, the thing that they invented because they needed it, and it was necessary for them, or it was necessary for their people to be better off. So the thing that they created, they actually created it from a place in a space of wanting to make things better and fixing a problem that they saw in the world. All right, so that's number 2. Worksheet number 3 actually breaks down and goes through great minds. And this is where the student gets to really deeply connect with the inventor and see similarities that they may have in the inventor, and show some compassion and write about it. Write about what they would have done if they were in that situation, how they are handling different situations now, so on and so forth. There's actually a quiz that comes along with that. Within this quiz, they can basically go in and answer questions. Okay, take the quiz, and of course, I'm just going to click on something here, and it'll show up, Garrett Morgan. It's someone that I am most like, and it'll give you a little bit about Garrett Morgan. And there's actually a place where they can watch a video, which is basically a YouTube video that I found online. I plan on making my own videos to go along with this, but in the meantime, we'll go ahead and work with what we have here. And then we can go down here to worksheet number 4. And this is where we're going to talk about their story and how they can identify problems, issues, things that may be happening in the world, and how they can directly solve that problem, what they'll need to do that, and then what they'll actually do to solve that problem, so on and so forth. This can be done as a team project, or it can be done individually. So it's really up to you whether you want to have them do it as a solo project, or if you want to have them do it all together in a group. On the website as well, you'll see that I have some of the different videos and songs that you can play along with the worksheets. And these songs are purposely placed here for the reason of the beats and the rhythms that go along with the worksheets that hopefully give the right emotion. So regardless of which way you play these, you actually can go worksheet 1, 2, 3, and 4. It usually works pretty well that way. But if you mix them up as well, they are guaranteed to create the emotion and the inspiration and the motivation. I really paid attention to the different drum sounds, the beats and the rhythms. The Tupac song is the instrumental, so don't be too scared there. It is the instrumental to keep your head up. And that's pretty much an overview of the beta program. With the beta program, if you have signed up to do it and you like the content, then please, please, please go to our contact page and just leave me a little note. Tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like, anything you feel like I can change. Please leave that information here for me. I would love to hear from you and be able to take this to the next level. I will be adding more and more researchers to the list, or inventors, I should say, excuse me, inventors to the list as we go on. This is just a basis to get us started, kind of get our feet wet, and then hopefully once we go through this first round and by 2018, I should have this all together. It'll be nice and presentable and great, and everything will pretty much flow together to where I can ship this out to multiple schools and have multiple schools really taking in this information and teaching this information during the month of February or during other months throughout the year. That's another reason why I focus in on African American inventors, because these stories, the teamwork, the values, the empathy, the going in deep and doing that personal type of development work is kind of snuck in there a lot. And these are the skills that they will need when they go off to the workforce. The workforce is constantly changing and evolving. They will need to know how to do research online and to find out more information, and then how that information relates to certain things, especially if they're going into marketing. Absolutely. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I appreciate you taking this step forward and raising your hand and seeing the need that our children have to understand our shared history. As the quote said here, we can't understand how our community came to be if we don't go back to the past. And moving forward, we have to unlearn some of those same things that we may have learned in the past that may not be conducive to our lives now. And we also have to bring more awareness to the contributions that all people have in this country, in this world, and that we work together. A lot of the inventors here would not have been able to patent, come up with their inventions, and vice versa. A lot of the inventions, like the light bulb, we would not have the light bulb had there not been a collaboration between Thomas Edison and and his name escapes me right now. Leonard. I want to say it's Leonard. No, Leonard is the folding bed. Hold on. I'm going to grab it because it's going to drive me crazy all night long if I don't get it. There we go. Lewis Lattimore. Lewis Lattimore and Thomas Jefferson. Lewis Lattimore actually worked as one of the engineers on the team while developing the light bulb. So it happens when we all come together. When we all come together is when we make change and when we create things that live far beyond our years. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to get it down off my soapbox now. Please contact me if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.